Hey, do you want to know the best and by far the easiest way to oil your Freeform Locs? In this video, you'll be learning how to do it without spending any money, and plus you won't have to borrow your mom's hair gel because it's 100% natural and free. Stay tuned on Freedom Locs for more. I'm Emmanuel from Freedom Locs, bringing you yet another exciting video on Freeform Locs. In this video, you'll be learning what is actually the best oil for your Freeform Locs, okay? But before we jump right in, I want you to do one thing for me. Please subscribe, hit on the subscribe button and hit on the bell to have to be notified every single time that I post a new video, okay? So, actually, the best way of oiling your Freeform Locs brings with it several benefits, not just for your hair in general, right? But even more for your Freeform Locs, especially if you have a type 4C hair, right? Like me, I'm going to illustrate to you. This is actually the best oil by far for your Freeform Locs is sebum. Yeah, sebum. So sebum is an oily substance produced by your own sebaceous glands found in your own scalp and on your skin, right? So I'm going to illustrate this with a cross section of your scalp, as you can see right there. Yeah, so this sebum mixes with fat molecules called lipids to produce a protective layer or a coating on your scalp, right, on the skin surface. So that's why at Freedom Locs, we advise that on your wash day, you rub just the scalp and not the lock, actually, because as you see, this sebum forms a protective layer on your scalp, and rather, you actually don't have to focus on scrubbing the hair itself, but then the scalp. So that's because the sebaceous glands spill their content, which is this sebum, onto the scalp, right? And where are these glands actually found? They are found at the mid layers of your skin, just near your hair follicles. So what happens is, this sebum then trickles down the whole hair shaft from the root where it's produced, and hopefully it makes its way down to the tip of the lock, right, or the hair shaft, right? So it's produced at the sebaceous glands, and then it spills its content onto the scalp and then trickles down the hair, the whole hair strand. But then there's a little caveat here, right? The rate or the speed at which the sebum trickles down from the root to the tip of the hair shaft depends on your hair type, right? Now, as you can see from this chart, you see from type 1 is actually straight hair. From type 4C hair is the curliest or the most curly of all these types, right? So you agree with me that it's obvious that if you have straight hair, the rate or the speed at which this sebum is going to actually move or trickle down from the root to the tip is going to go actually faster, right? Because then it doesn't have to do, when you have curly hair, as opposed to curly hair, it's going to have to go round and round that curly hair before it actually gets to the tip. So you see, so that's just the little caveat right there. So what are the benefits actually of sebum? So one of the benefits is, the first one is that it has lipids in them. Lipids are just fats, right? And these fats lock in moisture on your scalp beneath the lock, right? So actually it's a free moisturizer in that case. Secondly, it transports fat-soluble antioxidants, which are, one of those antioxidants is vitamin E, right? Which is very essential for your scalp. It protects your scalp actually also from the harmful effects of ultraviolet rays, especially the UVB ray, which is actually the most dangerous. But then you see, at the same time, however, if you have melanin, if you're melanin rich, if your skin is, if you're dark and you have melanin, just like me, that melanin will actually convert these harmful UV rays, especially the UV rays, into productive energy, right? So the third benefit actually is something called sapienic acid. Sapienic acid is actually one of the constituents of your sebum, and what it does is that it combats bacteria, germs, bacteria that could be found on your scalp, right? And that's the reason why you could develop something called folliculitis, right, if you don't have this. The fourth benefit is something called squalene and fatty acids. Squalene and these fatty acids are anti-inflammatory, which means that they prevent things like itching. If your scalp is itchy, then the squalene, which is found in your sebum, which we said is your best oil because it's natural, it flows freely from your scalp, prevents itching. So now, what is this sebum composed of? 57.5% of it is composed of triglycerides and fatty acids, right? 26% wax is something called wax esters, right? It reminds you of something called beeswax, which some persons use for locking their gel, locking gel. So your sebum has it naturally. It has this wax esters, 26%, and the remaining 12% is formed from this squalene, which is a lipid. Now, if you're getting some value from this video, please remember to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit on the bell so that you can be notified anytime that I post a new video right here. The two scenarios could arise from your production of sebum, right, which is your natural hair oil, right? The first situation is when you have high sebum levels. How do you know that you have high sebum levels? The first thing is you have a greasy, shiny scalp. And the next thing is, I just remember that when I used to use heavy oils and gels and all of that, I used to have an extra rundown of oil to my face and my scalp would get so itchy and so greasy. So that's when you know that you have overproduction of sebum. And plus, when this sebum now adds up with dead cells, it forms what is called a plug. And this plug then blocks your pores, right? And when your sebaceous glands are producing sebum, then there's this obstruction formed by these plugs, and then the body perceives that somehow it's not producing enough of this sebum and it's going to overproduce this sebum. It's called a positive feedback loop effect, right? The next thing is that it's going to also slow down your internal lock matrix, right? An internal lock matrix develops when your hair is locking up, right? And the more grease you have on your scalp and in your hair, the less it's going to form. This internal lock matrix is not going to form, which means that your hair is not going to lock faster when it is very greasy. And the next thing is that actually this is usually caused by over oiling your hair. The frequent use of oils and gels actually then favors more grease on in your scalp and it's going to therefore favor the production of more sebum in that scalp. So generally we advise that you avoid oils and any alcohol-based shampoos. Now here's the second scenario that arises: low sebum levels. How do you know that you have low production of sebum? First thing is your scalp is dry, it's flaky, and it's itchy, right? Second thing is, however, your internal lock matrix will build up properly in this scenario because the drier your hair is, the more, the easier it is for the hair to actually lock up, right? And this comes about when you frequently wash the hair, especially if you have type 4C hair. If you're washing it frequently, then this sebum can run down the whole hair shaft, and so it gets dry and gets very brittle. So that's the reasons why at Freedom Locs actually we recommend that you wash your hair like just once a week. If you do once a week wash, then there's a high chance then your hair won't dry out, and that's because you'll not be washing off this sebum, right? The next thing is poor nutrition. If you have poor nutrition, you have very little healthy fats and proteins in your diet, then you will most likely not have enough sebum. The other thing is harsh chemicals. When you use harsh chemicals in your shampoos, right, generally if you can't read the ingredients, the components found in your shampoo easily, it's too chemical, then therefore it's too harsh and it's too for your hair. So as a recap, we are saying that actually sebum is the best oil for your scalp because it's natural, it's free, and it has all those benefits and constituents and components in them which actually help your hair, which feed your hair, your scalp, and keeps it really healthy. So it's produced by your scalp, and as long as you're staying healthy and fit, you would always have enough sebum to oil your hair. So that's why at Freedom Locs we actually advocate the wash and go method, right? We just wash our hair and we just let it go. So that was it concerning the best oil for your Freeform Locs. So I want to find out now, do you agree with me as concerns the best oil for your Freeform Locs? Do you agree that sebum is the best oil for your Freeform Locs? If you don't, if you do, please leave a comment in the comment section and let's talk about it. All right, and also don't remember to hit on the subscribe button and hit on the bell so that you You'll be notified every single time I post a new video. And of course, if you really enjoyed what you had on this video, smash that like button. So I'll be seeing you on the next one. You have a fantastic day, have a fantastic weekend, and let's stay locked up, guys.